The weather is changing and our winter sports are officially underway. Welcome to this week's edition of Behind the Blue. Millikin volleyball took part in the CCIW tournament last week. In the opening round, the Big Blue traveled up to Wheaton. After a huge comeback by the Thunder, Millikin would trail 9-3 in the fifth, and all hope looked lost. However, the Big Blue weren't ready to call it quits just yet. Millikin would rattle off 6 straight points to tie the set up at 9. It was anyone's game, and the Big Blue trailed by scores of 12-10, 14-12, and 16-15 before firing off 3 straight points to close out the Thunder and pull off the upset. In the semifinals, Millikin traveled up to Illinois Wesleyan. The Big Blue were bested in this one by the Titans in 3, as the Big Blue failed to find a consistent attacking pressure. And with that, women's volleyball sees their 2021 season come to a close. The Big Blue finished with a record of 21-11 and a CCIW semifinal appearance. The CCIW women's volleyball tournament is officially over, but not without its fair share of drama. It was the first time since the CCIW expanded to a 6-team tournament that both the 5 and 6 seeds advanced to the semifinals, and the Titans of Illinois Wesleyan took the crown, backing up their regular season title. The CCIW tournament has also concluded for men's soccer. Wheaton College was able to pull off the upset in the opening round over top-seeded North Park, but it was North Central who would win it all when the dust settled. And the same can't be said for the women's tournament, though. It was Wheaton College who would win the title from the top seed in the conference. Football was in action on Saturday up at North Park. The Big Blue defense put on a show, pitching a shutout as Millikin defeated the Vikings 21-0. Calport was 11 of 22 for 159 yards through the air, a touchdown and an interception. Marion McGee did the usual thing, pacing Big Blue rushers, 24 rushes, 92 yards and a touchdown on the ground for him. And the senior Colton Lockwood with 4 receptions, 72 yards receiving, as well as the lone touchdown from Port. Mashar Lewis had himself a game, recording a team-high 11 tackles and recording 3 pass breakups in the win. Millikin moves to 3-6 on the year, and their record of 3-5 in the CCIW places them 8th in the conference. The Big Blue will host Wheaton on Saturday in their season finale. North Central defeated Wash U last week, and that decides it. They have earned themselves the 2021 CCIW title. Women's basketball kicked off their regular season on Friday night against Westminster. Millikin rode a dominant first half to victory, winning 83-63. And on Saturday, Millikin took on Greenville. The Big Blue were firing on all cylinders as Millikin hit the 100-point mark for the first time since 2006. The final margin of victory was 43 points as the Big Blue won 100-57. Women's basketball is off to a blazing hot start, and their 2-0 record gave them the top spot in the CCIW this week. The Big Blue will be in action against Beloit on Wednesday night. Men's basketball also got things started on the road at Blackburn College. The Big Blue led by 11 at the half and held off a furious charge by the Beavers in the second to win 63-59. It's a 1-0 start for the Big Blue, and that ties them with Carthage for the top spot in the conference. Millikin will play 2 games, both on the road this week, against Wash U on Wednesday and Spalding on Saturday. Women's swimming was on the road at Carroll on Saturday. The meet featured plenty of close races that came right down to the finish. Millikin took the lion's share of the individual victories and swept the relays as well en route to the win, 125-80 the final score. Women's swimming gets a 1-0 start to their dual meet season, and they've got the week off. Men's swimming was also on the road at Carroll on Saturday. The Big Blue continued to show improvement and recorded several season best times, with Carroll taking the meet win 129-61. Men's swimming will start 0-1 on the dual meet season, and they also have the week off. Wrestling got their season off and running against Elmhurst last week. The Big Blue recorded 6 falls on the way to a 44-6 victory in the opener. On Saturday, it was double duel action for the Big Blue. Millikin took on the Milwaukee School of Engineering as well as Carthage College. The Big Blue were simply dominant, defeating both opponents by a score of 52-0 and recording 8 falls and 7 tech falls between the two contests. Wrestling is off to a red-hot start, leading the conference with a 3-0 record, all within the CCIW, and they will be in action at home with the Millikin Open on Saturday. Cross country, they were off last week, and the Big Blue will be in action at the NCAA Midwest Regional this weekend. And triathlon was also off last week. Wish the Big Blue luck, they will be heading to the NCAA Championships in Arizona this weekend. And now it's time to recognize our Big Blue Athletes of the Week. Our first athlete is Peter McCusker. Last week, Peter went 3-0 for Millikin Wrestling, recording 3 pins and scoring 18 points for the Big Blue. And our second Big Blue Athlete of the Week is Elise Knudsen. Elise averaged 25 points and 8 rebounds last week for the Big Blue. She's off to a hot start shooting the ball this season, 67% from the field and 72% from beyond the arc. That's all for this week's edition of Behind the Blue. Be sure to tune in next week for all your Millikin sports news. Have a great week and go Big Blue.